Leadership is key. Leadership is key. Leadership key. Leading Liberia is key. Leading Liberia right is the key. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. She told us to lead. That is the key. She failed Liberia. She never led us well. She brought us shame and disgrace in every front. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Liberia's going down on the George Weah. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Now we need a leader who we can trust. Who is that leader? Attorney Commander Chesson. We can trust him. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is June the 26th. As we begin the weekend, we rise this morning to the situation in Florida. I was trying to think on the name, Surfside. I think it's Surfside, Florida, where that whole building collapsed. A whole side of a condo collapsed. Can you imagine that? And first of all, let's take a minute to remember the people that have died and those that are still being searched for. May the Lord Almighty Jesus Christ help them recover as many people as He can and look upon those, the 4 that have died. So far we have 4 dead and 159 unaccounted for. And that is always one of my biggest fears when I travel. When I go to these hotels, the first of all, I don't go above the 11th floor because most of the fire ladders cannot go above the 11th floor. So I don't go above the 11th floor. And secondly, every time I go into a hotel, I look around to see if I can escape if something happens. Because we don't think about these things when we go into hotels. But I was in a hotel where were we? I think we're in a hotel in Maryland, I think, or somewhere, and there was a fire. And they called the fire truck. We were on the 5th floor. They shut the whole building down. Nobody could use the elevators, nothing. That scared me. It scared me so bad. I was on the 5th floor. I was looking at ways I could get down in case there was a fire. In case anything happens. And this has always been my fear. That's why when I go to hotels, now I either sleep on the 1st floor or any floor below the 11th floor. Usually I sleep between the 1st and the 5th floor because I know if anything happens here, perhaps I can jump out of the building from 5 stories down or try some other way, find a way to get down. But these are troubling times. And for people who go into hotels and all these kind of things, with all these things going on in our country, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Now, here we are, a whole side of a condominium collapsed. And we can't find the people. They're still searching for the people. This is scary. It is scary. And if you don't think about it, especially people who travel and living in hotels and motels and all these things, it's mind-boggling for people like us. So that's just one thing I just wanted to bring to your attention this morning. Secondly, Officer Derek Chauvin of Minneapolis, Minnesota, who knelt on the neck of George Floyd for 9 minutes and caused his death. And a world riot has been sentenced. Officer Derek Chauvin got 22 and a half years in prison for what he did to George Floyd. A lot of people were happy. Some people were sad. Some people think the punishment is not enough because with a 22.5-year sentence, he still has a chance to come out after 5, 10 years, 15 years. So people think he should stay in jail forever. But this is the first time in the state of Minnesota that a police has been sentenced for any lengthy time. And this is because of what happened to George Floyd that alarmed the whole world. What happened that made us focus on police brutality, on the actions of police responding to incidents within our community, to causing us to want to take a step back and look at policing in America and how it has in fact affected minorities and Black people. How the job performances impact our communities negatively. So all of this has come to the forefront, and we can see because of George Floyd incident, changes are being made in America. And this is wonderful. So I hope we keep making these positive changes and keep holding police accountable for their actions. And in Surfside, Florida today, I hope with all my heart that they find more people quickly, because the more days go on, injured people can suffer more. People bleeding can bleed out. So we pray that efforts being made to recovery efforts being made are done speedily and lives are saved in a timely manner. We also pray that the rain will let out, that there will be good weather, so the workers who are excavating that place to find people can have a better opportunity to do their work and save lives. Okay? So far, from the Florida incident, 4 dead and 159 people are unaccounted for. But we hope that this will all come to a better conclusion as they find more people today. And we pray that the weather will give them the condition, the time to do the work to save lives. Okay, let's get into my lesson. Let me put up my topic for today. We have 3 topics as usual. And my first topic touch on the topics of accessibility in our society today, especially our Liberian community, with the firing of Eugene Fahngon. So I wouldn't spend much time on this, but it's a topic that we need to touch on and discuss. Okay? My only concern about Eugene Fahngon's firing is CDC will die. So let's start my topics. Number one, without Deputy Minister Eugene Fahngon, can George Weah's government survive? 2, sins of George Weah. 3, protests for war and economic crime court for Liberia. So let's start my first lesson. With Deputy Minister Eugene Fahngon gone, can the George Weah government survive? That's a good question. That's a good question. Because we see that George Weah is not eloquent. George Weah can't speak English. Nobody in our government can really express themselves as well as Eugene Fahngon. So this is an advantage he brings to the CDC, despite his idiocracy, because I think Eugene Fahngon is an idiot. But if he's not in CDC, there will be no fun for 2023 election. We might as well just give it to somebody else. Because nobody else in CDC is eloquent and can speak as well as Eugene Fahngon. And that's why he takes advantage of his position in that party. We haven't seen George Weah for days, because weeks and months. George Weah can't speak. George Weah got a doctor, and all these kind of degrees, and the man can't even speak a fitting sentence. So he is afraid to come on TV. He is afraid to speak to the public. So everything comes out from his house. You don't see him, you just hear the speech. So Eugene Fahngon has been a rock for the CDC and for George Weah. He has been a rock. Now you fired him. You can't speak. Moba can't speak. Koji can't speak. Twe can't speak. Nobody else can speak. Who will be speaking for you? And this is wasting my time, man, because I want to enjoy the 2023 election. I want to see some competition among the parties. So you got to put Eugene Fahngon back now. So you bring him as minister. Are you going to move Nangwe now? Or Nangwe already gone? So since there's a deputy already appointed, are you going to move the minister and put Eugene Fahngon there now? Because everybody's saying Eugene Fahngon is an asset. Some people are happy he's gone. But we know with Eugene gone, CDC has no spokesman. No eloquent spokesman. Who's getting the talking? Nobody. So Eugene Fahngon knows his position in CDC. He knows he's a good player for George Weah. That's why he comes on and spews out a lot of stupidness, say he's not talking for the government, he's talking as his personal self and all that. How you be minister and say you're not talking for the government? You minister 24 hours, 365 days a year. So how you come out and make statements and you say, oh, I'm not speaking as minister, I'm speaking as Eugene Fahngon. You see, that's why I say Eugene Fahngon is an idiot. He's an idiot, but he's a little necessary idiot. Because CDC needs him. CDC needs him. And I want to see competition in this election. I want to see people competing and really expressing their platforms. So who will do it for CDC now? They're not fire Eugene Fahngon. Who will do it for CDC? Koji? Got a man, got a high school kid. He will come talk for you. You better go back and bear Koji. What the boy name? Fahngon. Because this is no, you can't say George Weah doesn't need Fahngon. They need Fahngon. They need him. That's a man you can trust. That's a man who been in the party with you. That's a man who lying for you. That's a man who stealing with you. That's a man who doing all the corrupt practices with you. And above all, he's the most eloquent speaking man in the whole damn party. Are you going to let that man go? Are you going to let that man go? So here we are. Eugene Fahngon may not be an asset to Liberia, but he's an asset to CDC. He's definitely not an asset to Liberia. He's definitely not an asset, because this government is not an asset to Liberia, nor the Liberian people. So Eugene Fahngon is just hanging on with this party that's going into oblivion. Because with all Eugene Fahngon speaking, CDC is a bobo party. They're bobo. Who will talk for you? Huh? Who will express your ideals and goals? You gotta go hire somebody else. You gotta go find somebody else. It's up to you. But I just want to see competition. I ain't care about all the things. I just want to see people competing and the election competitive. That's what I want to see. So yeah, please bring Eugene Fahngon back. Straighten us something. Because you can't speak George Weah. English not your forte. You can't speak Peking. Your boys around you can't speak. Eugene Fahngon is the man. You see, I'm speaking for you, Eugene Fahngon. I hope you understand. I'm speaking for you. You were the one when they say a public enemy, an enemy of the state, and all of that. But I'm speaking for you now. Because I want you to show more your simplicity. Come back and take the microphone. I love Eugene. Get in the microphone. Let him get in and talk. Let him get in and talk. Yeah. I like fun. I like idiots sometimes, Things boring in Liberia. It's better than George Weah talking, because I can't understand a word George Weah saying. It's better than anybody else speaking in CDC. Who they can ask the guy to speak? Only Fahngon. So y'all bring Fahngon and give Fahngon a mic. Let him get back on the stage and talk nonsense. We used to it. So this is my question. Without Eugene Fahngon, can CDC survive? Without someone to expound the platform of the CDC, how be it weak it is or useless, but he will still expound their views and try to impress us that George Weah making sense. And we know that thing don't sound no sensible. It ain't sound like anybody making sense, but it's better to have some idiot expressing their views and trying to control the Liberian people than none at all. So I'm putting my hat in for Fahngon. Minister Fahngon needs to come back. He needs to come back, because George Weah can't handle this thing. George Weah can't speak. The man at Bobo here, football player. Same thing with Tuer and all the people, the Bobos. Only Fahngon can go up there and speak. Whether it's stupid or not, he can expound the views, He can make a thing say, damn, what is that trying to say? Okay. That's why I like Fahngon. Put Fahngon there. Fahngon came from every other party, not cost everybody else. Now he fired, and we're fighting for him to get his job back. Get him in the job back, okay? Because without Fahngon, there's not even a 40% chance for CDC. Not even 20. What George Weah can do? Talk foolishness? Huh? Or you will hire Ellen Johnson, tell you to come back? That witch? That put her in jail for truth? So that's where I am. That's where I stand. I say, you leave Koji. You leave Fahngon, bring Fahngon back, or CDC is dead. CDC will have nobody to speak for them. CDC is already a useless entity. Fahngon was the only man trying to bring their life back into the thing because he was funny. We would laugh at him talking because we wonder whether he's crazy or not. Now we ain't got nobody to laugh at in CDC. George Weah is no fun because his English is just doggone bad. But at least Fahngon had a excitement in him. He was a drunkard. He was useless partisan. Bring Fahngon back. Fahngon. Bring Fahngon back. George Weah. Bring Fahngon back. George Weah. Bring Fahngon back. Hey, George Weah. Bring Fahngon back. George Weah. Bring Fahngon back. George Weah. Bring Fahngon. Birds of a feather flock together. Y'all know y'all not making Fahngon. You bring that boy back, okay? We used to his stupidity and his ignorance. Bring him back. He can do that. Okay, my second topic. Sins of George Weah. George Weah, our president, has disgraced us so much. This one man has disgraced Liberian people so much. From being a deadbeat father to being a national rogue. Now he's a sex fiend. Well, all this talk about George Weah raping people. Well, all this talk about this, this is the second time Papi Key said it, I heard it from somebody else on another show. How George Weah raped a little girl. How he pregnant one other one in another country. So what's the sense of our president? He's a rogue. He's a dummy. No, that's not sin. He's just a rogue. He's a pedophile. He's a criminal. We can't charge him for being a butt boy because people want us to sell our butts for food now. So George Weah is just bad, man. Too much bad news coming from this one football player, man. There's one football player. Why this man gotta be so destructive of our country? Huh? Now you hear Papi Key talking about his sex life. You hear everybody talking about George Weah. How he running behind these girls and young 16-year-old girls. This is not right, man. The president setting examples that are bad for the country. It's bad. It's bad, man. So with all this news coming out of George Weah, this haven at the Jamaican Lodge, at this lodge, and all these accusations of rape, sodomizing, and all these kind of negative things. What are the sins of George Weah? What are the sins of George Weah? We want to know it because we want to pinpoint one now. The stealing, the uselessness, the incompetence. Well, they're not stealing. You can't blame incompetence on stealing. That's just naturally, the guy is just naturally dumb. He can't read, he can't write. All he knows is football. And you bring it down into our presidency. Running our government like a football club. Useless man. Everywhere you hear he's sleeping with this person, that's not a president job. That's a job for a private citizen, man. Go play football. You can sleep with other women you want. You can do whatever you want about it, say nothing. But when you bring it to the presidency, that's a problem. That's a serious problem, man. It makes us look bad. It makes our society look bad. That the president of Liberia is carrying on like this. You know? Sodomizing the women in our country where they got to take them to the hospital. This is not right. This is not right. You know, as President George, we are supposed to maintain a certain standard of discipline, a certain standard of professionalism, a certain standard of familyhood. But yeah, our president name in all kind of shenanigans with little children. You know, every now and then you hear, oh, George Weah name is, oh yeah, he's a deadbeat dad. He lied, say he making so much money, less money than he's making just to avoid child support payment. You know, that man just making us shame, man. And that's why we need the War and Economics Crime Court. We need these people to be brought to the court and punished. How these people just run our country like that, they're a private farm, like they have no rules and regulations, like there are no laws and orders in our country. These people just doing anything they want to do. It can't be, man. It can't be. It can't be. Sometime we got to stand up. Somewhere we got to stand up in our society and tell these people, get out. Not enough is enough. Get out. Get the hell out. This is not a government for hooligans. This is not a government for slum dwellers. Get out. And only the Liberian people can do that. Only we can do that. We are relenting circumstances. We can do it. If we decide, say, we want this guy out of our mansion, we give a damn. He will go out. We'll get on the street and protest, and they'll not do nothing to us. Protest, lock Liberia down. But we can't go on with this kind of senseless government. You know, our country and our people deserve better. George Weah's sins are too numerous for our country to bear. They're too numerous. They will fall on the heads of our children and our children's children. If we don't stand up to this man, if we don't tell these country people enough is enough, get our government. We can do better. We know we can do better than this useless man leading us. And why? Why? Why are we tolerating this? We came from Torba to through these walls to this very day. And we still got these people stealing from us. The same thing they did in the 1980s. They're still doing it. Worse, worse, worse. Ellen Johnson did worse. Salif did worse. She charged our fathers with corruption, and she came and put our children over our government. Ellen Johnson said he need to go to jail. She got to be flogged. And this dummy George Weah, he no different. He no different. We are at the disadvantage. We are held hostages in our country. We are being stopped from progressing and advancing because of these useless people. We can't go on. We can't go on. We can't go on. So it's time for us to stand up against this system, to stand up against George Weah, to stand up against any negative thing in our country and demand that these people Step down. Demand that they remove themselves from our government. Demand that a better form of leadership is elected ASAP. But we can't go on. We can't go on like this. It's not worth it. It doesn't benefit us. Look at all those senators that stole $15,000 each. Huh? That's the government money. This is COVID-19 people. We have no money to fight this disease, and you're giving the people $15,000 for themselves as bribe. That's bribe. To vote for George Weah. That's bribe. To get your county to vote for George Weah. That's bribe. And if we don't care for our people got to let us go. All of these senators and representatives that voted against the will of the people got to go. Got to go. All these people against war crimes court and academics court got to go. They got to go. And y'all can't be afraid to rise up and stand up for what is right. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. It's not in our best interest. It's not in our best hopeful interest. It's not in our best interest. We got to stand up to evil in our society. Whether people die or not, if we don't stand up to evil, evil will never stop. It will be perpetuated. And we got to stop it. When we stand up to evil, evil will stop. And George Weah cannot hold our country hostage. He can't hold our people hostages. We want a free, wholesome, functioning society. Not one kept down by criminals and bandits and warlords and killers. No. One that is open to all Liberian people. That affords all Liberian people the ability to grow and progress and benefit in their lives. One that abides by the Constitution of Liberia to give us the opportunity to pursue happiness, our own form of happiness. George Weah government is repressive, oppressive. It's a harmful government to the Liberian people. So the sins of George Weah are upon us. The sins of this evil president is upon us. Look at all how we're suffering. Look at how all we're being killed by COVID-19. And people got to walk around the streets with self-made masks. Look at all the dysfunctional leadership in our country. We can't go on. We got to stand up and say, no, 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 no. We ain't taking it no more. Or else, just finish my statement with your own imagination. What could happen? But we got to look at the sins of George Weah, and we got to tell our president, enough is enough. Calm down, monkey. Calm down. Aluta. Continua. My third lesson. We got to protest for war and economic crime code. You heard Prophet Key in his most recent show talking about why we need to protest. Why foreign governments will not come to our aid. And we got to protest of ourselves. We got to take the stand and say, no, these people got to come down. And we got to make a loud noise. The people will come down. But if we don't make loud noises in our country, Liberia will still be the same as it has been from time immemorial. And we just continue on the same trend every year, saying that it's new. And not new. It's not new. It's not new. Because your parents used to feed you yesterday in a cart. and they change the form of feeding you today, does that make it right? It doesn't. Or does it? But we got to determine our own destiny. We got to determine what is good for us and what is not good for us. We have been under this government for 3 years, going on to 4 years now. We know that from Ellen Johnson time in 2006 to this very day, the same killers have been over us. The same murderers have been over us. The same bandits have been over us. And they're not going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. As Prophet Keith says, we got to take our own destiny into our hands. We got to take our destiny into our hands. I don't care about America and all of that and all what he was saying, but I know what I believe in. I know what I believe in. I'm not casting blame on anybody. I'm just saying we got to get up and change our society. Nobody can do it for us. If we can do it ourselves, our society will change. That's why we got to come together, pay attention to each other, pay attention to things around us and our plight, and strive, work together, hard to rise up to punish our leaders who have stolen from us. We got to punish these people. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If these people do us bad, they are our leaders. They're not our masters, or fathers or mothers. They are as young as some of us. Some of us are older than them. We're getting it right to tamper with our property and our lives and livelihood with impunity. Nothing. Nothing. But if we continue to accept it, we'll continue to say, oh, that's the way life is. If we can't continue to say we'll wait until 2023 to change it, we might as well just give up on life and go run amok and perhaps kill ourselves. Because it can't happen all the time. We can't depend on the same people all the time to do for us what they take for us. They take it for us. How will they do for us? We are trying to punish these people for their crimes. How will they join us in opening up avenues for us to punish them? Because they are all guilty. Every one of them, from George Weah to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf down to the street boy, they are guilty of some kind of crime. We can't go on. We can't go on. We need leaders we can trust. Leaders we can put our faith in. Leaders who tell us one thing and we know is that one thing and it will not change. But the leadership we have now, they are disappointing. They let us down time and time again. And we do need a war and economics crime code for Liberia. We do need one. We do need one. I listened to our legislature in the thing that I call them legislators, talking about let the war crime be handled by foreigners, but let the economic code be for Liberia. Why? If the war crimes code is going to foreigners, why should the economic code come to Liberia? And we don't know nothing about economics. Our economy is not even a bubble of the world's greatest economies. So what are we talking about here? What they were explaining to us? How were they $50 and $20 and $10 got missing? How everything we put down, as soon as we turn around, is gone? How our government are just nothing but kleptomaniacs? Have nothing in them, in it. But these are the things we suffer. These are the things we go through each and every day, time and time again. So it behooves us to take a step back, to look at ourselves and our lives, to look at all the people around us and ask ourselves, is it worth it to rise up and demand changes? And if our heart says yes, if your heart tells you yes, it's about time we wake up. Why hesitate? Why wait any longer time when you know the right things to do, when you know the good things to do to change our society? But this is where we stop. And this is where I end for the weekend. And this is where I got to tell my people, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. I don't know what will go on, but I just speak in my voice, adding my 1 cent to the pile. Who am I? I'm just a poor old man. Everybody's singing now these days. Well, people, have a good weekend. That's my class. I didn't want to make it too long. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Monday, okay? Aluta. Continua. Have a good day. But we got to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. And that's it. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Leadership is key. Leadership is key. Leadership. I'm waiting for my music to come on. Let me get out of here. Leading Liberia is key. Yes. Leading Liberia right is the key. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. I don't know what's going on around town today. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. She told make sure you go out and have a good time. That is the key. It's sun, she feels Liberia. She never let us well. She brought us shame and disgrace in every front. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Liberia's going down on the George Weah. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Now we need a leader who we can trust. Who is that leader? Attorney Commander Chesson. We can trust him.